I've been trying to make this build where I put every type of element on Monk, Electric, Fire, and Frost together to make one specific build, where I weave them all together and getting all the elemental damage from the passive trade line work together and do a lot of damage. That being said, once we got the changes on the cast on gems, everything kind of came crumbling down because I couldn't really get enough power charges to infuse my staff with lightning. But now I found a good way, thanks to a few videos that I watched, and I'll link them in the description, to actually make this work while at the same time making the build overall better. And now I'm doing insane amount of damage, and I want to talk about how I did it. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live. And let's get into it. So right now I'm in Act 5. I'm almost done with the whole campaign. And of course, I figured a good way of actually playing the game, being very, what's the word? Very comfortable with the actual build without having to do a lot and actually doing a lot of damage. Before, I had to stop in there and get some corpses. Even when sometimes the cast on thing will get triggered, the cast on Shock or the cast on Frost will get triggered. Sometimes it was not enough and you would have to sit there and get some corpses in order to get your power charges. But now, as you can see here, I'm not really doing anything. I'm just attacking and I'm getting permanent actual power charges, which is very, very nice. I still need to get a bit more defense in order to survive, but the damage we're doing is very, very good, as you could see in the boss fights as well. And how's it working? Well, it's because of a very, very specific passive called Resonance. Gain power charges instead of frenzy charges. Of course, this happens in other things as well, but what it is that when I want to get power charges in order to infuse my weapon with this lightning effect that I have, right, to do this, right? And I need, well, frenzy charges will transform themselves into power charge system. And there's this beautiful gem here called Combat Frenzy, requires level 41, so you'll have to wait a little bit. Until then, you can use your Profane Ritual to the same build, and you'll be fine. It'll be a little bit annoying, but once you get here, you'll be fine. And of course, every time you freeze or electrocute or pin an enemy, you'll get a frenzy charge. And of course, I'm freezing a lot of enemies with my Ice Strike. And I'm also, once I actually get my charge staff going, guess what? I will end up having a lot of electric damage that will electrocute more enemies. Now, I don't have anything spec'd on more electrocution. I know there's a few traits here on this side in the passive tree to make this happen. There is enemies you're electrocute to have 20% increase damage, and of course increase electrocute buildup as well, which is kind of nice. Honestly, it's not that far away. I might go in there and get it. I'll think about it for sure. But for now, I don't even have it, and I'm electrocuting and getting a lot of power charges. And of course, after I'm actually done with Charge Staff, I can use my Falling Thunder. You can see it there. You saw it there when it was huge, to kill everything around me, and just keep doing this forever and ever. I also put myself on a Sniper's Mark that will make me, when I crit something and that I put this mark on, will give me more power charges, which is actually pretty nice as well. Just in case of, well, actually it works out pretty well on bosses. I can just press it one time, put it on the boss, and then just blast and send some amount of damage, freeze my enemy, make it, shock him and everything, and do an insane amount of damage. It's very, very, very good. And the best part about this, and this was actually a problem that I had on the other build, was that, let me go here so I don't die, was that I actually had in here in Ice Strike, I actually had one specific gem that did electric damage in order to get shocks with the electric ability that takes the shock from an enemy and gets a power charge. Because, well, in bosses, there's not going to be any corpses, so I can't really do it any way else. But with this, with Sniper's Mark, and of course with Combat Frenzy, I don't really have that issue. I'm getting power charges all the time on bosses, and it's super fun. It's super fast, and I really, it's just it's not even that many buttons you press. You just go in here, sometimes you press this button to kill everything around you, but mostly you just put in the bell, doing some amount of damage with the bell, freezing everything, so you can just keep doing damage, shattering everything, and doing a lot of damage with that too. Eventually, I could get Herald of Ice in order for every time I actually shatter something, it does damage around everything. But right now, I'm actually struggling with, there you go, with some defense. Of course, you could see that I died there, even though I was doing a lot of damage. And the reason is because I don't have enough spirit to put more things, more defensive spirit lines. And also I've been putting a lot in the passive for more damage. So now I'm getting Ghost Dance as well. That will make me so periodically getting Ghost Shrouds. If you're hit while you have a Ghost Shroud, it is immediately consumed by recovery by energy shield based on your evasion, which I do have a lot of evasion. I'm speccing into it. This will make me have more. Eventually, I want to get my, when I get more stuff, when I get more spirit, I want to get my Wind Dancer. That's a buff that gives you a more evasion per stage. Being hit by a melee attack while you have this buff consume all stages to damage and knock back enemies around you. And of course, because I'm getting more evasion, this will get me even more powerful. I also got Elemental Expression that will make me do Fire Explosion, Bolt of Lightning, or Icy Wave, depending on my strength, dexterity, or intelligence. So it's gonna happen. The three things that are gonna happen, making me able to ignite Electric Shock, and of course freeze things more, which is super cool. I put some Ingenuity, so the cooldown is lower, so it happens more. I put some Inspiration, so it has so it triggers more. So it requires less to trigger, and I also got coursing current to shake enemies around me. I might actually change that. We'll see. Ideally, would have this with, you know, be able to ignite more, be able to freeze more, and be able to shock more. But depending on the amount of intelligence and everything, we'll depending on that, we'll change it up. But yeah, it's very good. I also have on Tempest Bell Ignition because well, a lot of the damage that I'm doing on the bell ends up being fire sometimes, and the bell becomes fiery and of course starts igniting enemies around them, which gives me, of course, because of this passive, a bit 30% more damage if I've ignited someone recently. So doing all these things gives me a lot of damage. We're definitely gonna have to see what I change it up, what I change up eventually. Actually, I'm gonna just get out of Tempest Fury. Tempest Fury is not something I'm actually using anymore. I put Wind Dancer so we remember to use it eventually. But it's working pretty well. I thought about using Shattering Palm as well, as it's pretty nice and you dash through enemies, but because Ice Strike is already very useful, I'm not sure if I'm really gonna use it. I'll have it in here, try and test it out, but I don't think it's really that good. I put it with the Inevitable Pre-Critical, so any skill you use yourself that hits enemies, causing it to accumulate critical chance over time. Because I'm not using it a lot, it will always crit, and of course Rising Tempest, nursing elemental damage ditch to each skill used recently to a different elemental type. So this will make it so the more elemental damage I do with other abilities will make this one do more damage. But for now, honestly, it's just not. Honestly, I should just put this on Falling Thunder instead. But we'll see what happens. The other thing that I really want to try out eventually is what is the word? Gathering Storm, actually, or Flicker Strike. I will have to work on that, see if it actually works. They require a lot of power charges, but hopefully it ends up working well. But I'll check it out. I'll try it out for tomorrow, and I'll make an updated video when I do that, because I'm really close to finishing the campaign. I want to finish it before I actually start investing into this kind of stuff. But there you go. I'm very excited for it, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have any questions, of course, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and go check my other video when I talk about this build overall. This is more like an update. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye-bye.